Defense in Minecraft is a very difficult subject to touch on, because everyone knows that no matter how fancy a door you make, or how strong a wall you build, your enemies can always just take a pickaxe and mine right through. While this is inevitable, I can show you some ways, while you are in your starter phase, that you can make very effective walls that are almost impossible to get through without your enemy being slain first. Watch the full video to get all the tips that you need to create the best walls possible with your minimal resources. Alright, the base of our starter structure is going to be in the shape of a star. You can make this any size you want, but preferably this will be the size of a tower or a small loot pool base. The shape of the star is used for archery. Once this tower gains height, it is the optimal shape for seeing your entire surrounding and pinning people that are trying to hide up against your wall. This design has been used for thousands of years, and you can use any stone that you want in replacement of stone bricks. Although I do suggest that for a starter base you use a stone block, any type of stone, for the skeleton of your wall. Our next step is going to be putting a layer of wood all around this. Now that is rather expensive, so what you can do to cut the cost is divide all your wood into slabs. This gives you twice as much wood, but it's just as effective. You might think that wood is not a good idea because it can get burned, but there is another layer of defense that we're going to be adding with cobblestone stairs and water buckets. So just follow me and I will show you what to do next. Now you're going to keep placing these slabs on every half part of the block. This is so that when players try to break through the wall, it is just as hard to get through as a solid wood block. Before we place in the water, we are actually going to be placing in any sort of cheap gravity block that you have. The variety of cheap gravity blocks include, but are not limited to, sand, red sand, and gravel. These are good starter base items that you can use as gravity blocks for your bases. The next part, we are only going to be doing to the main wall that you are protecting. We will be placing in lines of cobblestone stairs because this is supposed to be a cheap option. Once you have done this to all four sides, it should look like a regular cobblestone wall. Now what you do is you create an infinite water source by placing two on opposite corners, and you put water inside of each staircase. Now you can't just hold down the button. As you can see, I'm holding down the button now and nothing's happening because I already placed the water. But if I'm up here and I hold down the button, it only clicked once. So you have to click it on each block individually. This is a time-consuming process, but if you want your base to be TNT proof, this is what you have to do. That took way longer than expected, but now is the phase you make the base usable to the player. Right now I could easily get shot by anyone from any direction. So what we do is on top of the gravity block level and on top of the water level, we add your choice of stone block. Alright, now you are defended from stray arrows. Somewhat. What you have to do now is defend from people hiding up against the wall, but also keep yourself safe. Let's imagine that a player is digging through the wall as hard as he can, even though that this is filled with water. All you have to do is jump up here and shoot down at him, right? But what if he has a teammate in the distance that can shoot you down and ruin your chances at success? What we have to do now is really cheap. All we need is a very cheap block because it's not going to get hit by any physical attack along the edge of the wall here, but also allowing a gap as so. This is what it should look like. So now, you are able to shoot people from a distance up here. You are able to shoot people breaking into the wall while being defended from up here. All you have to do is duck and they might not hit you. If you are feeling a little insecure, you think that you still will get hit, you can either put a cobblestone slab layer there so that it's very unlikely they'll be able to shoot you, or you could put a cobblestone slab layer here so that you could shoot out and it's even more unlikely that they'll be able to shoot your top head, but they will definitely be able to shoot your chest. It is a strategy game, and it is very hard. Honestly, pretty intimidating, but it doesn't look fancy at all. First, we're going to put a little detail of protection so that you don't fall down into the area you are protecting. Now for looks. Now we have to realize something. When we give looks to our build, the looks can easily be destroyed. However, this does not look pretty, but when put to the test against TNT, it withstands itself. So now, let's do a practice invasion. I just did TNT expecting the wall to explode instantly. It did not. So I'm going to try to break in from underneath, but there's pesky gravel. Not only is there gravel, but there's water on top of the gravel. So now there's no way I'm going to be able to use an axe on that wood underwater. So I think I'm smart. I could go through the corner. No, can't go through the corner. I can go through here, but then you have to swim. You have to hit the gravel. You have to break the wood, and then you have to break the stone, all without getting killed. This is an extremely difficult wall to go through. So now you're thinking, well, I can just go over it. Skybase. Well, you're running the risk of getting shot. It's very easy to get shot. But once an enemy does get over the castle, it is very difficult to shoot them down. But let's be honest, if you had 4 guards on each point, there is no way you'd be able to skybridge over this base. So, you can't have a perfect defense without also having decent security. You need at least one person guarding this point at all times to defend from skybase attacks. Now, one last thing before we go, and it's a doorway. This is honestly very important, and I probably should have mentioned it first. Doorways should look as so. This is how your path inside should look. And there should only be one way in. So anyone on any side would be able to see you coming in once you're about at this point. And once you're at this point, you actually should probably break through the physical means, and then you're in. It is a very fast way to get in. But again, security. This is distance. Okay? It takes a long time to get up here, especially without getting spotted. And there are multiple ways to make staircases longer and more aggressive. That is the end of the strategy video, guys. Thank you for watching. This is MC Strats. Like, share, and subscribe for more content on this channel. Goodbye.